Hello students, today we are going to discuss about the 8051 microcontroller interfacing. In the last year, we have already studied the architecture and assembly language programming of 8051. In this semester, we will learn how to use the 8051 for making different applications. As we know that there are two different computing systems in the world. One is microprocessor based, which is also called as general computing architecture. The second is microcontroller based architecture. It is also called as dedicated computing architecture or the embedded system. This slide shows some of the examples of an embedded system. So the first example is your fax machine. Then the second example is a CD player. The next example is a phone with the number storing facility. The next example is your gaming devices. Next to that is a digital synthesizer. Next to that is a digital drum. Then we have a sewing machine. Then we have smart toys. Then we have handy camcorder, a CCTV camera, a NXP robot, and a DTH system, and even a washing machine that we used in a day-to-day life. One thing is common in all these examples is that they can perform a single task. So these kind of systems are called as embedded system. So in a short, a system which can perform a single task is called as an embedded system. Now let us find out the difference between a general computing system and a dedicated computing system. In general computing system, we have the example of a computer or a laptop. In this system, user can install the program and use it for a certain applications like word processing, playing games, watching movies, listening songs, using a CAD/CAM software for drawing, and even for a scientific computing. Whereas dedicated computing system performs the single task. The user cannot change or modify their programs for different tasks. Now here are some of the examples of a dedicated computing system or the embedded system, like a phone with a number storage facility, or a fax machine, or a washing machine, and a garage door opener, which opens the garage door and by pressing a button and closes it for another click. We cannot compare the embedded system with the general computing architectures because they do have their own advantages and their disadvantages. Architecture of embedded system. In every embedded system, there are two main parts. One is hardware and the second is software. The hardware consists of input-output devices such as microcontroller, memory, user interfaces such as keyboards, displays, serial communication bus. Some of the advanced microcontroller has ADC and DAC on chip. The diagram shows some of the examples of input devices such as switch, IR sensors, gas sensors, and a matrix keyboard. These are some of the input devices for the embedded system. There may be change according to the application. Second is software. The software for the embedded system can be developed using assembly language or an embedded C language. This makes an application program. For the complex task, the real-time operating system is used, and that is called as RTOS. Why C programming language for programming the microcontroller? Language is a general purpose language and it is among the most popular languages for programming a computer or a microcontroller. Nowadays, a cross compilers are available for programming a microcontroller. A cross compiler converts a C language program into an assembly language program. In a case of 8051 microcontroller, we have CX51, which is a cross compiler available from a company called as Kyle. Its name is Microvision Integrated Development Environment, or in short IDE. The C language was invented by Professor Dennis Ritchie on DEC PDP-11 computer in 1980s on Unix operating system. The slide shows the computer and specifications of the computer that he was using at that time. This is just for a comparison with the today's computer. There are many advantages of using embedded C language. The good news about a C language is that you can write a C code which runs very quickly and your program is very close to the hardware. Second is, in this sense, C is said to be a very portable, means that a program developed for one microcontroller can be used for the another microcontroller with few changes. C language is a modular language. C language is a modular programming language. Small modules can be made and they can be put together to have a large one program. In this way, a large program can be divided into a smaller parts, or we can say smaller modules, and then these modules can be connected together to have one big application. C is a programmer's language as it is quite simple to use and it has minimum number of keywords. As the C language is a middle level language, it is close to the hardware, so it executes very fast. At the last, C language converts into an assembly language. Now, when it is converted into an assembly language, the size of that program is really very small related to other language compilers. The structure of a C language program allows a programmer to write the program in the simple with the fewer program statements.